Hi, are you looking for flexible work that you can do in the evenings around your current commitments, your children, your family, your already full-time job? I don't know. Maybe you're looking for some extra work that fits around your life that you're able to do in the evenings. I really want to advocate for becoming a virtual assistant. It genuinely can change your life. It definitely changed mine. But some people need to start when they're still working full time. And this is a question I get asked quite a lot because they want to know whether it's something they can do alongside their employed role whilst they build up the business. And the answer is yes, you can. It's a little bit harder, I'm not going to lie to you, but in this video, I'm going to share with you some things that you could offer as a virtual assistant to get yourself started around your either family commitments in the day, or maybe you're trying to set this up whilst you're in employment. I'm Paula Edwards and I'm the founder of Advanced Virtual Assistants. I'm really pleased to have you here. Thank you for joining me. So the 10 things I wanted to share with you about what you could potentially do as a virtual assistant in the evenings to get your business started are the first one, and the most in demand service, is inbox and diary management. Now, ordinarily, I have to really be honest here, this is usually wanted in the 9 to 5. But it depends on who it is that you're working with. So if you're working with somebody who's very busy and they've got a UK-based business, you're in the UK, and they need that support, they need somebody in their inbox and available to them when they're working, then of course this isn't going to work. But not everybody needs that level of support, and not everybody's in the UK. We used to have a client that was a dentist in Melbourne, and he wanted somebody UK based to manage his inbox whilst he slept and do some jobs for him whilst he slept. So anything is possible. So don't write it off. But inbox and diary management is the most sought after service. And this is the sort of thing that you can be doing for businesses that aren't quite so busy and don't need it always to be available in the 9 to 5. You sometimes see things like private doctors or dentists that work outside. I've got a private business outside of their NHS business, and this sort of thing can be done in the evenings, and that might suit them better because they need somebody to contact their clients outside of those hours. So that sort of thing involves getting in their inbox, managing their emails, responding to things. Maybe there's a bit of customer support in there. Maybe it's arranging appointments for them. Maybe it's booking some travel. So they're the sorts of thing you can do. It's very much sought after, this sort of support. Admittedly, less so when it's out of hours, but not impossible. So that's one thing you can think about doing. Another is social media support. So you don't have to be a super duper marketeer to help with social media. If you're managing your own social media, which most of us are, then you can definitely get involved in this. And it might be that they write the content if you're not a marketeer and don't know how to write that type of content. But it could be that you repurpose content that they've already sent out. And so you can look at different angles of which to deliver it. It might be that you're creating graphics and things in Canva and things like that for them. It could be that you are scheduling the posts so that you've got a whole month's worth of content scheduled and ready to go. It could be helping them think of doing the research of thinking of what sort of content to deliver. So there's lots of things around the social media that you can help with that you don't have to be a qualified marketeer with. It's the things that takes the time, like the graphic creation and that type of thing, and having all that content ready to go and actually scheduling it up so that it's ready to go out on the days and times that they want it to go out. So that's a really easy one, can be done any time of day. So that's a really easy one to do. Another one is customer support. Again, sometimes this is wanted in the 9 to 5, but not always. So it could be, depending on the business, maybe they want somebody looking at tickets or chat bots, or in the inbox looking at managing customer inquiries, live chat support, as I said, responding to inquiries in that inbox. That's all around the customer support. Sometimes they want that out of hours as well. So that's definitely another thing. That's number 3 that you could potentially offer. A fourth thing that you could potentially offer is around podcast support or YouTube video support. So it could be things like uploading episodes, writing show notes, writing descriptions, researching what's doing really well in terms of topics. It could be editing videos. It could be creating clips from videos. It could be the graphics again. There's so many things around podcasting and YouTube support that you could be doing. And again, that can be done any time of day. Number 5 is looking at online course support. So this is a similar thing. There's a lot of people creating online courses, and whilst of course they're totally responsible for the content, it could be that you're helping them set it up in whatever system or portal that they choose to set it up in. So it could be uploading training content, and it could be on an ongoing basis. So whilst we've got our courses and the modules are all there, every time we have a new cohort, we have to duplicate everything, make sure that's all set and ready to go for the next cohort. But then on an ongoing basis, we'll have the live videos from the live training that needs to be uploaded on a weekly basis. It could be managing the student communities. So for us, we do it all in Slack. So it could be that you respond to inquiries in there, make sure they got access to their courses or that type of thing, and just generally answering any support questions that come up there. It could be, what else could it be? Creating graphics and thumbnails and that type of thing. So ready for the courses. There's quite a lot around course support that can be done at any time of day. And so that's another thing that definitely works really well with, people who want to work outside of the normal 9 to 5. Number 6 is bookkeeping and admin support. Now, to a certain extent, I'm definitely a believer in that you need to be a qualified bookkeeper to deliver proper bookkeeping. So you maybe have that qualification or you're working towards it, but there are things that you can do outside of having that qualification, and it could be sending out invoices, chasing late invoices, sending out quotes, making sure you've got invoices coming in to match the payments that have been made. It could be data entry. It could be, lost my thread now, reconciling transactions, although we're getting borderline bookkeeping stuff. So knowing your way around some of these online bookkeeping tools like Xero or QuickBooks and that type of thing is definitely a really helpful tool to have. Even if you don't ever intend to be a bookkeeper, we use Xero here at Advance, and you definitely will need to know your way around this in your own business, let alone doing it for other people. So this is again something that can be done outside of hours. It doesn't need to be in the 9 to 5. And maybe you want to look at becoming a bookkeeper. Maybe that's something you really enjoy doing. But for the most part, you can do a lot of those basic things without being a qualified bookkeeper. Number 7 is project coordination. So updating project management tools, tracking deadlines, following up team actions, supporting launches, looking at workflows. These are all really good things to be able to deliver outside of hours as well. There will be an element of communication during hours for some of those things. So it depends on your availability. Maybe if you're somebody who, got children at home, but you've got a couple of hours during the day whilst they have a sleep, then that sort of thing could work really well there. Another thing is website support, number 8. So often we need to do updates on our website. Maybe we need to upload blogs. Maybe we need to create graphics or format pages or add in images or do basic SEO. I mean, SEO is another whole different topic that you could definitely do outside of hours. That's search engine optimization. You can look at how you can optimize a website to be found by Google and the like. So that's another thing you could look into. But basic SEO you can do quite simply, and there's a lot of apps that can help you with that. Making sure that links work, forms work, maybe creating a new page, maybe setting up workflows and automations for that website. So there's lots that you can be doing in website support. Things like Google Analytics and tracking what, the stats, the metrics that people are, what pages they're landing on, and reporting back on that type of thing. There's so much you can do. And that again, and all of that can be done at any time of day. Okay, number 9 is research support. So sometimes people have these projects and they're very, very much project based. This is maybe they're looking at some market research or competitor research. Maybe they're looking at holding an event and there's an element of looking at locations or some cost analysis, maybe some supplier research. Maybe it's travel, looking at travel research. Lots of things you can do around research that again can be done at any time of day. So that's definitely one to look out for. I would say that that's less likely to be on an ongoing basis and much more project based. So they'll give you the project to do, and once it's done, there may not be another project with them directly afterwards. Who knows? But yeah, another really nice little job to do periodically if that's the sort of thing you enjoy to do. And finally, number 10 is around AI. And, if you are thinking about becoming a virtual assistant and you want to start setting this up around your full-time job, or you really want to make it your full-time job in the longer term, you definitely need to be really familiar with AI. And I would definitely encourage you to start doing that research yourself and start playing around with it and working out what you can and can't do with it if you don't already know. But this is also something that a lot of businesses are looking into right now, of how they can utilize AI for cost savings, for efficiencies, for effectiveness. There's lots of positives that AI can bring in, and businesses are overwhelmed and don't know where to start with this. So they are looking potentially for some practical support. And I would definitely suggest that this is something you can look at delivering if you wanted to spend some time in teaching yourself, if you don't already know, on how businesses can utilize AI. So it might be, you're looking at like helping them writing prompts, helping them set up their software, so whether it's ChatGPT or Claude or whatever. You could be looking at where they can bring in efficiencies, like putting in workflows, that type of thing, and how they can use AI in their business on a day-to-day that is going to help them bring in these cost savings and efficiencies. So there's so many things. I mean, I'm sure there's many more, but they're the 10 that came to the forefront of my mind. There's so many things that you can do to set up your VA business that you can do outside of the 9 to 5 to start with. So I hope that's piqued your interest. You know where to find me if you've got any questions, but I'd really love to hear from any of you if you've got any questions or you want to just give me some feedback. But yeah, I hope that's been helpful to you. I really hope it gives you enough emphasis, excitement to come and join us in the VA world. Okay, take care. Bye for now.